Netflix The Subbuteo Show. How's everybody doing?
All right.
Yeah, good mate.
Right.
You?
I'm good.
Oh, good. We this week we are talking about solo playing. Obviously the boys tried to get somebody in to replace me, but they couldn't get anybody, so you're stuck with me, and you're going to have my opinion on solo. You couldn't have asked for anybody worse to give me their opinion on solo playing, but here I am. And the boys are going to try and convince me that it's the best game ever invented. Isn't that right?
First of all, what's wrong with it? You've got to tell us what's wrong with it first.
Oh, there's too much cheating in it. It's right. It's from the top level. It's Seth Blatter. It's like the whole way down. It's rotten. It's rotten to the core.
We saw Martin's opinion of it on your show. You know what Martin thinks of it. Is your opinion as strong as Martin's?
I don't get it. I don't get how you don't cheat. That's the whole thing. I don't get how you don't fix the matches to win the matches you want to win. I did see a fantasy solo league was created a couple of years ago. I was asked to join it, and you had to post your results in every week. Again, I don't see why you would even bother playing. You would just write your best score down for your favourite team and post your results, because it would put the top of the league, right?
Does anyone know how them leagues are competitive? Because you're right. I suppose there's a massive element of trust in that. But
yeah,
I'd lie.
I wouldn't bother playing. I wouldn't even get the table down. I would just sit and write my scores in.
Yeah. So
why would you bother to enter if you're not going to do it properly? Though I don't. This is true.
Surely, if you do play it, that's what I'm saying. If you do sit down, you take the table out and you play, and you be fair, and then you think, right, I've won 3-0 and I've won 2-0 there, and 2 each in that match, and then somebody else's results come in and somebody's catapulted to the top of the league with all 12-0 wins, and you're going, did he cheat? Did he really beat himself 12-0?
Well, yeah, he probably did if he's winning games 12-0, yeah.
So, Calum, you play solo, right?
Yeah, I used to a lot more, yeah.
Stephen, do you?
I have done. I do small sided, like 5-side now. So I obviously did as a kid.
So I kind of agree with Watsy about I don't get solo play, and I like to think I've got quite a good reason, not reason, but justification on it. I'm an only child, so as a kid I had to boot it on my own, and I don't know if it's my attention span then or now. If I try and play on my own solo, I get bored. I find it really boring, and I'm going to go as far as to say, Calum, you don't do it as much now.
So I missed your point there, mate. Sorry, I switched off.
All right, it's like that, is it?
Yeah, my attention span. Very good.
Honestly, you don't do it as much now. Stephen, you don't do it that much.
Yeah, but for me now, it's a time and it's a space thing more than anything. Having kids and I don't have space.
Yeah, well, it's very hard. It's very hard to play solo, play by yourself when there's kids about stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think a lot of it does come down to for me, I would have a table up if I had room for it. 100% I would, but I just don't have space to have it up. And it's one of them things. It is one of them things. It does take a little bit of time to set up as well. So even if I've got space, but I've got to get this out, this out, this out, and this out to play. By the time you've done it, you're like, can't be bothered now. So I understand it completely from that point of view.
That's why I find it boring. Because it's all set up, and then there's no, I won, or it's just.
But for me,
my theory on why people actually play solo though is not really. Yeah, it's a bit of time spent doing your own thing, and I've got an email about that to read out later. But I think it's like it's a creative outlet for people. I don't think there's a huge amount of people who lock themselves in the Subbuteo room and play a solo game, finish up, and it's 2-1 to West Brom or something, and then walk up, pack everything away, and go to bed. Everybody who plays solo, or nearly everybody who plays solo, either posts the results, comes up with a little league, builds a stadium around it and takes some nice pictures, some videos, joins a solo league and interacts with other people. So the point of it is not the actual play in the game itself. I mean, that is some of it, and there's elements of skills to it, and it's practice to play Subbuteo, but it's the creative outlet that it provides to do other stuff. Keep all your league. If you're into just spreadsheets, keep all your league tables with your top scorers and things like that. If you're into making videos, you make. I've seen some great videos from solo play where the keepers tipped around the post and all this sort of thing. And I think that's why people play. It's not just
I get that stuff, because what do I muck about? I'll set up scenarios, like I'll try and knock a corner in and then smash it.
Get the ball to the goal line, knowing you.
Yeah.
I've seen you play, mate.
Trying to score a goal enough. But I enjoy setting up situations and mucking about with that for 10 or 15 minutes. But to have a full game, I just find it tedious.
Yeah, but the game would only be... It depends how long you have your games for as well. For me, and I think, well, I know my old man still plays. So for my old man now, he used to play season after season after season. And when it got to like... When did he stop playing? I want to say like the late 80s, early 90s. For him, it was when he had that disconnect with footballers rather than the game that he stopped playing.
Yeah.
So whereas all through when he was playing originally, like players didn't move around as much. So like the teams, you knew the teams. Whereas when players started to like move about and all this stuff, kind of fell out of love with it. And now he just plays single seasons. So he'll just pick a particular season in the English First Division that he liked, and he'll play that, and he'll try and play them in the order in which that game was played. And you've got Rothmans and stuff now, so you can get the squads that would have played. So for him, it's just about reconnecting with that era of football that he loved, I guess.
That's my point as well. You know, he's going through the books, he's remembering the old teams, he's seeing the old kits, he's recreating the games, whether it happens or not. And that, you know, the emails I got, let me just find the one, because I know somebody emailed in and said that he mostly plays 90s Italian football. I can guess that that's the football that he played when he watched when he was a kid. So he's recreating that, and it's, as you say, it's connecting with that era. So yeah, this was this is Phil Marsden, who does the Alive and Kicking Facebook group, and he said his current solo league is 90s Italian Serie A. And he's got it all set up and he plays all the games. And I think that it's not really about the solo play itself, it's about the story they tell. Because I remember a lot of people who collect and play Subbuteo grew up with things like Roy the Rovers and things. They're just trying to do their own storytelling through the...
This is where I kind of agree with what's he saying though. If I was following a league, like say I was doing the first Premier League season, 92, 93 or whatever year it was, in the back of my mind, I'd be thinking, oh, Man United are going to do whoever, Swindon Town or whoever was in it then. And subconsciously, I'd be thinking to myself, can't let Swindon win because that would be unrealistic.
Yeah, but that's where you've got to make that disconnect. I understand what you're saying. And it is, for me, it was never about that though. I just quite like, for me, my best teams in some of my divisions were like Plymouth, and I had Burnley. And my Burnley team was an absolute... It was awful. It was made up of about 18 different teams, but they were just really good. Arsenal were always decent. I just think it was never about...
They were always decent.
It was never about what I wanted to get out of it. I just quite liked having like the season, and it was quite interesting seeing whether teams would get promoted or relegated or who would be the good players. Because in real life, like...
you know what it might be for me? Maybe for me it's because... I was 10 when Championship Manager 93 come out. 11. No, it's true. 11 when CM2 come out, and maybe that affected me. And would you
not be better putting your time, but instead of playing 20-minute matches all day, would you not be better just getting the teams out, setting them up on a table, taking a couple of nice photos, putting 4 photos on Twitter of that match and saying Plymouth beat Luton Town 2-1, and just like the ball in the back of the net and the players sitting all nicely, and
for me, you're doing it for other people. The whole point of solo play isn't about anyone else. Do you know what I'm saying? Like for me, like if you're taking loads of photos and just setting them up for photos, you're doing it for someone else. Like, what's the point?
Well, what's the point? What's the result going to, like? If you play solo league and you play against somebody else is blocking every time you flick. Somebody else is standing holding
you have your own rules.
Keeper.
Like that video that you put on where literally no one moved, I totally get that. If that's the rules that someone's playing, I would laugh at that. That's absolutely ridiculous. Do you know what I mean?
That was
because I'm like, because that is unrealistic. But when you get used to playing it, you'll have your own ways to even it up and ways to make things fairer and more realistic. Obviously, you can't flick at this up when you're playing against someone else. As soon as the attacking player has flicked his player, in theory, I can move a defender across or whatever. There's loads of different ways you can tweak your rules to make it however you want to make it. I say the email that myself and Stephen got, the guy there has got loads of different little tweaks to rules that he's brought in to try and like. So
there's no set rules for solo play. Then there's no rule book.
Not really.
That you have to follow.
Not really. A lot of people will start with the advanced rules or whatever, but then you have to tweak them because it's just you.
Yeah.
And I know what Stu was saying there about Man United and Swindon. I know the email that we got. The guy actually gives teams he's got like a whole spreadsheet thing worked out where he gives teams like a rating. So Man United would probably be like an A rating, and he rolls a dice to see whether they would get like a 1 or a 2 goal head start, or an advantage within the game. So
handicap in essence.
Yeah.
So this was Rob Durbin, and he sent a few rules. And to be honest, all the people who sent in their own rules and the way they play, the ones I liked best were the ones that were just sort of a bit more natural on the pitch. I didn't like the ones where it was like roll the dice. Somebody said,
I don't get that. I don't get
use a smaller goal for the home team, that sort of thing. I'm not a huge fan of that.
Yeah,
Rob emailed in said that set pieces on corners, they actually move everyone into the area and then use a corner kicker because it can cause a bit of a scramble on the corner and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's quite good.
I would do that, but I still flick my players for corners rather than place. Goal kicks is placement. Everyone can move on a goal kick.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Everyone's got different rules. So for me, everyone can move on a goal kick, put wherever you want. On a corner or a free kick, it's 3 flicks each. Like you can positional flick. And if you don't get them in the right place, then you'll set pieces. But if you do happen to get them in...
That's typical Subbuteo rules, though, isn't it? So you play typical Subbuteo rules.
I'd say mine are heavily influenced by what my dad played. That's what I...
So what changes do you make? What changes do you make rule-wise?
What, from the actual rules? I couldn't tell you, because I don't actually know what the actual rules are. I've just always grown up with this organic understanding that this is how you play. I've never looked. I've never gone up. I've never needed to go, "Ooh, what's the rule for this?" I'm just like, "Well, that's just what I've seen. That's what I grew up
so it's house rules, isn't it?" So I'm like that with normal Subbuteo. If I play someone, if I'm lucky enough to actually play someone with Subbuteo, like when my boy's older, I just make the rules up as I go along anyway. I know the basic rules, but so it doesn't really change the real Subbuteo to solo Subbuteo, I guess.
With a solo play, it can literally be however you want, and there are people that will create fantasy teams. That's not massively for me, but again, I get why people want to do that, because it's like creating your own little... Basically, another reason people do it, especially now, football's a bit rubbish. With all this crap that's going on, some people have genuinely, especially, I don't know, the older school generation that would have grown up on like the 80s, or even my generation were the 90s, early 2000s. The difference in football now is that they're a bit soft, the rules are a bit rubbish, VAR's a bit crap, Super League, all this stuff. It's all a bit rubbish, whereas you can just create your own little space away from... It's like escapism, isn't it? It's like when people that play computer games, they just escape into another world to just get away from whatever stuff's going on in their life or whatever. So
I find that connecting and looking at them and photographing them and setting up things like that for my own amusement.
Yeah, so that's like your outlet with Subbuteo is collecting it. Like you say, looking at it, photographing other people. It's about trying to create their own little world where they've got... like these little plastic figures are actual people, I guess, and they've got statistics, they've got goals, they've got appearances. Do you know what I mean? Like it's kind of like just creating their own little world. It's kind of like a pure thing away from football, which is heavily tarnished by money, sponsors, cheating players, etc., etc. Like none of that counts in Subbuteo. Do you know what I mean? Doesn't
just see
just on that point, Calum, Phil,
I don't want to offend you, Calum, because your father's watching and your father plays solo and you play solo. I don't want to offend you, but
honestly, you've got your opinion, Watsy. And honestly,
I know. I don't want to offend anybody, but I couldn't think of any. I couldn't think of anything worse.
On that point, Phil emailed in and said, pretty much exactly what you just said, Colin. He said he finds it a great way to relax. It's escapism, just a break from everything else going on. Solo means I can do this when I can fit it in and not just wait to play someone else. It's me time, whereas my wife, who works in mental health, often stresses is so important. It is self-care time, doing something I enjoy, making time for something I've neglected in the past. So for some people, it's just a way to de-stress.
I think that's fair that people have their own choice, and I have no problem with it. I don't want to offend anybody, like I said, but when you share something, solo people share into their Vevo group, and everybody loves it, and then people like us share playing a league or playing a proper league or talking about or painting Subbuteo, and they totally blank you, then you're going, you're thinking, why, like, you aren't part of Subbuteo if you don't like anything other than solo. That's what annoys me.
I don't play solo and I don't play in a league or a cup or anything, but you are very right. The groups are very much based around people playing Subbuteo on their own or collecting, which I quite enjoy. But there is an element to it where you're right. People don't talk about the professional side in it a lot. Be it that I know why, because it's not football.
But the professional game has got its own places to discuss. It's got its own
Oh
community.
no, I'm not talking about the professional game. I'm talking about Calum's painting. I'm talking about Stuart's collecting. I'm talking about your blog, my playing. But they just don't see any of us as Subbuteo. The only thing they see as Subbuteo is these people that play World Cup solo, play fantasy solo leagues, and that's it. And they don't have. They're more like their own little community, and that's it. And there's nobody allowed in, and there's nobody getting out of it. That's the only thing that I find annoying about it.
Someone I was speaking to, and I won't name them because that's not fair. I think they called a group of people the Subbuteo Fun Police. They suck the fun out of it. Watsy, you've gone off on a bit of a tangent on the sort of social media groups again, and now they're being a bit narky, and people aren't getting pictures across and stuff like that. And I do kind of agree with you.
They're being a bit poop. Just stay on Twitter if I can tell anyone to do anything. Twitter or the internet.
Or Discord.
Just never tweet anything about Leeds because their fans are ridiculous on Twitter.
You're getting hammered. You're getting hammered by Leeds fans at the moment, and Steven.
What do you reckon's worse, Leeds fans or Extreme Works fans?
Right, I've had the best email about Extreme Works, and I know it's not relevant to solo play, but it's absolutely incredible. So, Jeff Dolan, thank you so much for this email because it's absolutely incredible. I wrote an article last night about how Subbuteo is dead and how people like Extreme Works are doing stuff that's better than anything Subbuteo will ever produce again. And he responded with the best criticism of the Extreme Works pitch, and you need to Google this right now because it's hilarious. He spotted that the Extreme Works pitch, he said it's great, but it can never be classed as the best pitch ever because it's got a deformed penalty arc. The sort of semicircle next to the penalty area on the Extreme Works pitch is really badly done, and as soon as you see it, you can never unsee it. So it should be a circle at sort of 10-yard distance from the penalty spot, and the centre of the circle should be the penalty spot. And on the Extreme Works pitches, it's really deformed. And he sent me a really detailed explanation of why it's wrong and what's going on, which I will publish because it's absolutely brilliant. And I just love this sort of thing. I love that somebody spotted this.
Just while we are on a little break, can we just throw over to Stephen and just find out what's happened in the Everton West Brom under-23s game?
1-0 to Everton. No, 2-1 to West Brom. I wasn't looking.
Oh, he's done a cammy. He's not even watching. 2-1 to West Brom.
What has happened here?
It's one each. It's one each. One each
in Madrid. Who got the Madrid goal?
I didn't see it. I only seen them celebrating.
Ah, okay.
Oh yeah. To that arch on the Extreme Works pitch, and it's like they've used a compass to do it, which has made it around. Or not use the compass, sorry. Yeah.
This is the explanation that was given. Take the centre circle as the 10-yard distance for free kicks. Move the semicircle at the same dimensions down to the penalty spot, with the spot at the circle centre. The penalty arc should be that corded sector protruding past the edge of the area. And then he explains why there was an error in the Extreme Works pitches. It's brilliant.
Why would they not change that? Or is that just, do you reckon they do that on purpose now? It's kind of like their niche thing.
It could be, yeah.
It could be something they do on purpose.
Make a mistake and then just try and claim it as, we meant that.
Yeah. I'll do it all the time.
Who knows, mate? Who knows? But yeah, so what were we even talking about? Oh, solo play, weren't we? I'm totally what we're talking about. Because we drifted off into Facebook groups. The thing is, right, I think I've said this before, the thing with Facebook groups is, unlike Twitter, you can't create your own little world, right? Twitter is just there and you can follow people, but you can't create like, this is me area. And I feel like...
Sorry.
Go on.
You said this is me and I felt they need to sing the song.
Oh, okay. Sorry, we went Greatest Showman there.
Sorry.
So on Facebook, you can create like your own little group, and then you kind of have your own idea of like what the rules are. So I've got a couple of groups, but on one of mine, there's only one rule, and it's like the only photos allowed in here are WTS Club photos. That's it. So if you post anything else, I'm just going to delete it. There's just one rule. That's it. Like, but for some of them, the rules are so vague in how they're dished out and who they're dished out to. It just doesn't feel like it's overly fair, I think, is probably the best way to put it. But it's because, like I say, I think people have just got, because they've got their own little space, they kind of want to run it as their own little space, and then it just becomes them and their mates.
I think that's the thing, though. There's a misunderstanding. I mean, people can do whatever they want. If they get a group and build a group, it's their group, go for it. But if you really want just your things to be displayed and just what you want to be displayed, that's a page.
Yes.
Facebook's got the tools to do that.
Yes.
But, you know, I can't sit here and complain about somebody else who's created a group and is doing something else, because it's just they did the work to do it. So, you know, the only thing you can do if you don't agree with it is not use it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with what you're saying, Stephen. I do agree with you. But yeah, at the end of the day, that's their group, that's their rules. Like I said, my issue with it, and it has been since I got removed, since Westwood Table Soccer Tango Gate.
You know what? I would go as far as to call it. It's not even Westwood Table Soccer Gate. It's Painters Gate, is what it is.
Yeah.
It seems to be every painter who posts in the revival group seems to leave because they get the or someone says something, or then honestly, so many. I don't think there's any painters in it nowadays.
There is one painter in it.
Yeah, he doesn't post much.
Doesn't need to,
but he gets a lot of glory. A lot of glory.
Like I say, since then, and there was a whole discussion thing about it, wasn't there? Because there was a big kick-off the other week on the revival group. And there was a whole discussion about it. And there was one person on there, again, I won't name him. If you're in the group, you can go and read it if it hasn't been deleted. But he actually said, like, I'm actually, like, I have to stop myself posting, like, oh, that's really nice, how much, or anything like that, because they don't want to get their post removed, or they don't want to get their post deleted, and then they just don't bother. And for me, in the revival group, my vision of the revival group is to try and build the game, right, and make it bigger and bring in new ideas and new products and new people. But it's like, oh, we want to...
Calum, say that again, mate. I lost all your sound then.
You did disappear there, Calum.
I got a notification. I don't know what I said. Basically, I was saying that, you know, that to me, if I had a group called that would be my vision for it, but it isn't my group, so I can't overly criticise. I just feel like it's just that group. Let's say it's not the only one either. There's other groups like it, but that one is, because it's so popular, it's the one that everyone finds first, I think, when they go looking on Facebook.
It used to be.
The one criticism I have over the revival group is it's called the revival group, as if Subbuteo died, but Subbuteo has never died. People just fell away from it and come back to it, and Subbuteo's always continued. There's always been World Cups. There's always been people playing. The professionals have never stopped. You've been collecting. Everybody's been doing their own thing. So calling it a revival, you're not going to revive something that never went away. So to me, it's a nostalgic page.
The reason he called it the revival group is because he was reviving his love for Subbuteo.
Yeah, but his love for Subbuteo is his love for Subbuteo, and if it doesn't match his opinion, you're kicked out of the group. The amount of people I see getting kicked out and posting on Twitter that have been kicked out of the revival group because they shared a photo of a team I painted, and somebody asked me how much it was. Well, that's not revival. That's part of the revival. So why are you kicking people out of it?
I agree.
Do you know what I mean? Sorry.
Yeah.
You shared a video of your Netflix show. Get out of the group because we don't want to watch people talking about Subbuteo. That's contradicting the whole show, the whole thing, the whole page. If you posted a video of this tonight and you get kicked out for posting 2 videos in a week,
Steven,
you're contradicting the whole. You're contradicting the whole thing.
What was that? Sorry.
Did you post anything about your magazine in the revival group?
I've never posted anything about my magazine or blog in any other Facebook group.
You're only allowed to post in one group.
The thing is with Stephen is that big time. He doesn't need to. You know what I mean?
No, it's not that. Like
people go to Stephen. He doesn't go to the people. The people go to. It's like Subbuteo Jesus. He's even got the beard.
The reason why I haven't done it is probably just because of the reasons that you're all talking about. I just feel like, you know, I feel like there'd be kickback and there'd be negative things happening if I went and posted my stuff in other people's groups. So I just don't do it. It's just not. I mean, it's probably worth a load more page views. It's probably worth a load more followers and people reading my stuff. And you know, I do still get a lot of people asking how to get issue 1 of the magazine when I've been talking about it for a year. So
do you want to just cover that? We'll just cover that quickly while we're here, mate. How do you get issue 1 of the magazine?
I do think we'll need to quickly have a quick word though with Stephen, because I don't know if you've heard, he's kicking off his YouTube channel. Obviously,
I tell you what, he's
I
going
am.
to smash 1,000 before I've even got there. I'm only at 900.
He's bringing his 10,000 followers on Twitter, and he's ready to gazump us. I don't know what I don't know what we're going to do.
11,700, not 10,000.
See, we're done for, boys. Done. Might as well throw in the towel now.
Wait till you see the production values before you see that.
He says that. Watch it. It'd be like Sky Sports coming on.
I can't do video.
So what?
Do
Just
on the
on
channel?
that, what's the channel about? Yeah.
There's a few different bits to it. So the first one is going to be called the Green Room. So it's less me talking to camera and more the community sharing their bits and pieces. So going into people's Subbuteo rooms. Eventually, I want to actually go and meet people, have a game of Subbuteo, and interview them while we're playing. Whether that's people from the community, hopefully some big names, just the people involved in the general Facebook groups and people who email me and that sort of thing. There's loads of interesting stories. So it'll be people's collections, but right down to like just one individual item that someone really loves, the favorite team, that sort of thing. And we'll go into depth about it, and that hopefully little interviews with some clubs and things like that. It's all the stuff you see in the magazine, basically, just in video form.
Do you know what?
There you go.
I go in jest. I think it's great to have another channel on YouTube about Subbuteo.
Of course it is.
So good.
I'm being very careful not to replicate anything that anybody's already doing. So it's not going to be unboxings and reviews like Stu does. It's definitely not going to be painting or the fancy football stuff because I can't do that. So.
Oh, so you're going to copy me, are you?
No unboxings, no reviews.
He's gonna change his Twitter to the best YouTube vlogger, not the original, the best.
Well, but before we go on,
Subbuteo collection on YouTube.
Can we shelve Solo? Is that Solo shelved? Are we done with it, or are we
Right.
Back to it? I think we do need to get back.
Go on.
I've got one more big question.
Go on.
I've got one more big question for Solo Subbuteo. What do you do with the keeper? Because that seems to be the question that everyone talks about more than anything else when they're playing Solo Subbuteo.
So
five bad boy boxes. Solo keeper.
This is Mike Wumba. He's currently wearing the Westwood Table Soccer 2012 kit. I've got him here actually.
Is this exclusive?
I've actually got him here in the 2021 strip, just here. So basically, this is another thing. Like keepers, unless you're going to use the goals with the bar on the back, your keepers are rubbish. They'll just lay on the floor. With the bar at the back, you can pop them up, but you get unrealistic angles. So what I've got at the moment, and this is stolen from the old man as well, he uses like old pennies. Basically, you got a 2p, a load of blue tack on top, and you stick him on, which means he gains height. You can save low down, you can save with his feet. Just gives him, and you can put him anywhere in the goal, right? I've seen people using these cardboard things and these massive keepers. I personally, I'm going to swear, I think they look fucking awful.
Are you talking about this cardboard thing where like people have like folded it 3 times and stuck a like Pritt stick to bloody picture of some keeper?
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get why they've done it, but I think it looks absolute rubbish.
You're playing Subbuteo. You don't need to be back with cardboard, folding it up like that. You know what I mean? I just think it looks ridiculous. I understand why people do it.
You do that every episode of the show. That's about with cardboard.
I'm not playing.
Or you can knock your neighbour's door and ask them to come in and be the goalie.
Don't knock my goal line technology, all right?
That's still one of the greatest things you've ever created.
Honestly, serious. But honestly, yeah, no. If I'm playing a game, I want to use the proper stuff. I don't want to be getting bits of card and folding them up and making them like because.
The problem you've got then is,
you know what I mean? Like
Subbuteo
so that's what I do. Because they are too small. And if you play them on your own, like if you just lay them down, if you hit the ball hard enough, it will just hit the keeper right, and the spin will just lift it over the keeper.
Callum, can you show us?
Probably not, mate.
Go on, Calum, have a shot there.
I wasn't doing that for but can you have a dig, put your goalkeeper in and like aim the ball at him, and I want to see how he.
Do Diego from the halfway lane. Put Shelton in goal.
And that's got to be. Hang on, where's Mike?
If you put Shelton in goal, make him dive about 10 minutes after you take the shot.
Because Diego went round that England team like he was playing solo.
Bearing in mind, I'm using an old Premier League pitch. It's got about 98,000 creases.
Don't make excuses.
Here we go.
All right, hang on.
There we go. So
get Mike
on the podcast. Callum
get Mike in place.
Goalkeeper.
So
Or
Michael
you
Wood
could-
was in goal.
You could just text your result then that you actually scored.
Oh, it's gone in. If you can see that, that's actually hilarious. Like, what happened was,
off of the goalkeeper
and then spun in. Yeah, spun in.
So yeah,
That can happen though. Let's not be, we've seen worse. Hang on, let me just put him down a little bit more. He was too high.
This is my problem with solo play again.
For people, by the way, for people listening on the podcast, Calum is playing with himself.
I'm playing with myself, yeah.
But this is my
On
problem.
camera.
You've now had to readjust your keeper, and
Yeah, well, you usually, right, this is because I don't have these preset up. As sad as this is, usually I have like a whole pack of interchangeables, right? And they'll all be on their own thing, so they'll already be set up. You've got to get that angle right, else the ball will just go underneath him, and that's unrealistic.
Hang on, Calum. Every week you sit there, face the camera, you're good to go.
Yeah.
This week you've got a full Subbuteo pitch set up in front of you, all the players lined up. But you've not set anything up or prepared anything.
Not the keeper, no.
Oh, okay.
See, the problem is when I used to play Subbuteo, and the way I think of Subbuteo being played is like old style, advanced rules Subbuteo using the original Subbuteo figures. It's quite quick. Like, I think the better goals are when the ball's still moving and you flick the player and it goes in and that sort of thing. And I think the issue,
that was in.
The issue with solo keepers is that you have to stop, move the keeper, and then start again.
Yeah.
And it's just like taking a penalty then, isn't it?
No, not always.
It's like taking a free shot.
Because I'm crap at Subbuteo. So if I try and hit a moving ball, if I do it, I'm going to want to try and
the ball.
You're going to do it, are you? Because you're going to stop, take a defensive flick, line your keeper up. Slow.
Again, but all depends on the sort of rules you're playing. Depends how you play.
What sort of rules have you boys been sent? Because I know you boys have been sent some stuff.
Loads. So my fellow Marine fan, who
I've lost all my balls.
My fellow Marine fan, Roy, who ordered the magazine, and then I found out about 5 minutes that way, so I could just post it through his door. Sent a note. So he's the one who said that he worked out that 50% of games are home wins, so he tried to replicate that. So after they've taken a corner, the home side is allowed one extra touch without the goalie being repositioned, as if they've been taken by surprise. He also uses 3 defensive flicks rule in the shooting area, but the home team is allowed 1 touch unchallenged before the away team can use them, which tends to tip the things in favour of the home team. I mentioned the set pieces one, the corners one. I really like that rule. Fill the penalty box and then chip it in with the corner kicker. I think that's quite nice. And then again, Phil, and I keep going back to Phil because he sent such a long email, but also his Facebook group, we've just been talking about Facebook groups, that Alive in Kicking one.
It's a good group.
That is the best organised Facebook group I've ever seen. It's got tabs with guides, videos, all sorts. And he's running that like a website, and he's doing a better job than me. It's absolutely brilliant.
Group.
So yeah, he's actually got a star player rule. So 1 player from each team is designated as a star player. So for example, Napoli 89-90, it's Maradona. That star player can be flicked 4 times instead of 3. So he sort of adds that to the game.
Okay.
And he did a post on the group the other day, and he's mentioned this in email as well, where he flicks 2 positional flicks at kickoff for both sides to mimic how players will run forwards at kickoff. Although I'd argue that only 1 set of players run forwards at kickoff. The players can flick anywhere, but not over the opposition shooting line. So what it does is that creates a better. There's action straight away. You can attack where you can score early goals, which doesn't often happen in solo play. That was quite interesting. It's not really the rules of football, but it's a way of making the game a bit more fun. So I thought that was quite good as well.
And he could also knock into his neighbour and ask his neighbour for a game, which would be also good.
Not we haven't lockdown.
Look. We're not all as popular as you was. You all right?
So my neighbour, since I moved into the house, and sort of last year is when we really got talking to next door. Ever since we've been in lockdown, my neighbour's been banging on about, let me come round, look at your Subbuteo. And as soon as I can, I probably will get him round to have a game, because I actually can. I do want to play more Subbuteo this year.
Yeah.
When thing comes, I want to try and join a club if one gets set up local and stuff like that. I just can't see myself playing it on my own. I might train. Not even train.
I'm thinking about playing an entire FA Cup all the way from the preliminary rounds and creating a Facebook group for it.
Can you do a YouTube channel for it as well?
I might create a sub channel, yeah.
And do live draws and then like open ceremonies and stuff like that.
See, right.
I might even see if I can get the Queen along.
But
You can come around the final if you want.
This time last year, I held a Subbuteo solo tournament while everyone was in lockdown, and Stu did a YouTube video doing the draw. So,
it was good fun, that was.
But honestly, right, the first day, what I did was I made the mistake of spreading it out over a few weeks. But the first day, the first round, you had 20, 30 people all playing their first round games at the same time. I did a live blog of it. People were on a WhatsApp group just sending like funny pictures. Everyone was getting a bit silly with it. They were like showing pictures of like police keeping the fans off the pitch and like fans getting arrested and stupid banners and stuff like that. And they were all playing the solo games and sending the scores in. So we had like a Soccer Saturday live centre. Honestly, it was so fun. Everyone was chatting away in the group. It was just a really good laugh.
See, that does actually appeal to me.
Sounds like fun. Sounds like fun.
Do you know what?
Sounds like nobody actually played. They just took the piss and enjoyed it. They made it play it for 10 minutes.
Because people with videos and stuff, they weren't really doing it properly. But it was during lockdown. Everyone was having a drink. There was a guy in Australia, I can't remember his name, Kevin, I think, who got really drunk before playing. It got really late, and then filmed his game, and it was absolutely hilarious. That's fun because there's a community aspect to it.
That is brilliant because you're playing the games at the same time. You're videoing it. You're having a bit of banter. That to me is a good way. You're not playing it on your own, are you? That's not playing on your own.
That sounds like
I said, the point with solo play. I mean, I think the point with it is you either get it or you don't, and it like proper solo play. The guys that get well into it, and how I used to play. It's just about, I'd say, it's an escapism thing, isn't it? Just about, hey, this is my little world of Subbuteo, and I'm going to play it how I want to play it. And my players, Wayne Rooney might be utter rubbish in my Subbuteo, but that's the way it is. There's nothing I can do about it. Just the way it is. And I kind of like that.
Do you know, right now the internet is full of people who write stories about their Football Manager game where they treat it like news reports on the new manager who's been appointed.
I'm one of those.
Talk about like arguments they've had in the boardroom and all this drama going on. It doesn't take place in the game, and I think that's similar, really.
Want to sue the FA Cup final day, Calum?
That's what I was going to ask.
You really?
Yeah. I even used to sometimes I'd wear like a bench coat. Depends how I was sat in the dugout. Yeah, I take it it's one of them. That's the thing. Like, it's like you get lost in your own little world, and it's ridiculous. I understand it's ridiculous, but yeah, I did that.
The only problem with playing solo Subbuteo, if you think of yourself as the manager of one of the teams, and then you get sent off, you can't actually reach the table anymore to carry on playing. You have to go and sit in the stands.
Do you wear gloves in winter and short sleeves in summer?
No, but sometimes you interview myself.
Martial, short sleeves and winter gloves.
Used to interview myself in the car. Yeah, usual stuff.
Yeah.
So I would, right? If I was going to play solo Subbuteo, it would have to be doing it in a way that Stephen's just said, in a group with laugh and banter and getting the timings right and that sort of thing.
But that's like a version of solo play.
Because there's an element.
That's like a community, like a
fun version of
it. Hey, it's a version. Hey, to you, yeah. But I'm not gonna sit here and criticize people that play on their own, just not on their work. I get it.
I wouldn't do that. I'd never do that. See, everyone's entitled to do what they want to do. I don't know. Maybe I'm at a stage in my life where I want to do something with other people and I want to communicate, and I don't want to be.
Oh, I totally get it. I like to say the way Stephen was playing it. I was like, do you know what? That sounds like a good laugh. Imagine doing that over a weekend. If you get enough people, have like a little 8-team round robin league. It'd be a good laugh. And I also understand the whole playing the seasons thing because I've done it, I've lived it, I do understand it, how that works.
What I don't understand is where there's things like, is it the ISF, International Solo? I think this
ISF is the Independent Subbuteo Forum, isn't it?
Oh, is it? What's it?
ISSL, is it?
ISSL, yeah.
Super League. Yeah.
This is what I think Watsies don't understand as well. It's the same as me. It's how you're playing in a tournament as such, in a league. I'd rig it. I'll be honest, I'd cheat.
Do you know what they do though? They actually work out the averages of each player and work out if somebody's like fluctuating towards a certain team or.
Look, I love a spreadsheet, but that's serious. That's worse than FISTF.
Oh God, here we go again.
I enjoy a spreadsheet and I enjoy a statistic, but to sit there and work out that, you've got to be boring.
That reminds me, Stu. I've got FISTF news for you. So they've obviously been watching the show. They released a statement fairly recently after your rant that all equipment, there is no official equipment at the moment that can be labelled FISTF approved. They're redoing the whole thing. They're gonna.
Did they do it with one of their big red stamp banners that they put on?
I don't know actually.
I always see that.
They formed a committee to reassess all the equipment and redo all the rules around.
Done it again, boys. See,
FISTF approved.
The show's gone out, and the news we've made headlines.
So while they're doing that, quick turn up to a tournament with your whatever set you were going to turn up with, because there's no rules at the moment.
I'm going to turn up with a load of them. You know them keepers, them huge keepers. Put a load of them on proper bases and slide them around.
Let's get you against Watsy.
Get loads of big hairstyles. Because it makes them harder to get past.
So, Watsy, do you not think that there's some skill to Solo Subbuteo though?
Yeah, there is skill, of course there's skill, but I don't think, like, I could take my pitch out and go down the pitch and go round every player in the pitch and score a goal, no problem. But if you put another player on the pitch and defensive blocks, totally different game. Totally different game.
Is there a point where you get too good at Subbuteo to play Solo Subbuteo?
I don't know. We've had a lot of people on the show, players, and we've said them, what have you been doing through lockdown? And they've all said, I try to play solo and 10 minutes, couldn't do it. It's just not. There's no fun. Obviously, there's no defending. There's nobody in the other side of the pitch. So, I don't know. Training is similar because you can set up like lanes and you can set up small gaps to try and flick through. So to me, that's just as good as solo. If you just train in certain scenarios where you would flick from the halfway line, try and get through in the shooting range, put the ball in behind the defenders. You know what I mean? That sort of thing.
That's not.
I'd like to see more Solo Subbuteo trick shots and things posted to the groups. I'd like to see some of that stuff.
That's what I enjoy doing. No, I don't do trick shots. Like what's his? I like setting up drills that I'll line a load of balls up and just fire them all at the goal.
Yeah, or set yourself in a situation where there's two defenders blocking you.
Don't get me wrong. I know. Look, I won't take it away. You can play any game yourself. People play chess against themselves and stuff like that. I don't know. I get people.
How do you play chess against yourself? That's impossible.
No, people do that. There's situations, didn't they?
You would just cheat. You would just cheat again. I mean,
chess is about strategy, and you know what your strategy is for the other side. So it's impossible
you would just cheat.
Anyway, look, I know people. Look, I get why people play it on their own because they do enjoy it and they want it. I just don't get it myself. I can't do it.
We could say what we want because they're not going to watch the show.
How many people? 600 of you.
I'm not a massive.
Me old man, I'll watch it.
I'm not a massive Solo Subbuteo fan. I don't really do it myself anymore, but I really like it when someone gets in touch and they've got like their Solo Subbuteo league from when they were a kid. That was, the lads all where they've listed the players at the time. Brian Dean, top scorer, and all this sort of thing.
I've got all that.
That sort of stuff. That sort of stuff's great, especially when it comes from kids and like it's your childhood and you still have it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's brilliant. I think that's sort of brilliant because that's what you were. You were a kid and your imagination ran away with you.
I don't think your imagination doesn't die though, does it? Because
it still does. I can say I've still got all mine. I've got all mine from when did I finish playing? I want to say my last season was 2006, 2007 or 2005, 2006. I've got all mine from 1997, I think. So what I will probably do eventually, if I ever get space, just pick it up and carry on from where I was.
I do, right? So I love finding when I do get like job lots, you get like someone's team stuff and all bits and bobs like that. I've just been through this one where someone was obviously really keen on doing a league, stuff like that. So you've got scorers, stuff like that. You've then got a league table where every team or half the teams have all played one game, right? And then afterwards, there's absolutely naffle in it. So they obviously got bored. So they had the right intentions.
And then they found Channel 5.
That's
after
right.
12.
Red Shoe Diaries.
Euro trash come on, and that was
Euro trash.
A bit of Euro trash.
I'm way to bed, man. See you later. Right, moving on. Is that us solos done?
That's a different type of solo play, that one.
That's a solo play I done when I was 10.
This discussion could go on forever, but I don't know if we could discuss it anymore.
Because the thing of it is, there's never going to be a right and a wrong answer to this, because it's all about opinion. It's all about opinions, isn't it? We're not going to change Watsy's mind. Watsy's made his mind up based on these. There's things like how Watsy plays that I think is shit, but Watsy plays it. That's my opinion. It is what it is. He doesn't like solo play. It is what it is. I don't like all the 15 teams you collect.
I don't like watching. I don't like watching people who play professional solo Subbuteo. I don't like watching it. I don't like watching Subbuteo. Bores me.
It is boring.
I love playing it, but I hate watching it.
It is boring.
I agree. I don't watch people play it either.
I like highlights. I like a 3 or 4 minute highlights of a 20-minute match. I could watch that, no problem.
It lets people having fun when they do it. You know what I mean? And having a laugh and having a drink and having a shout. That's fun to watch. Watch people enjoy themselves is fun.
I think you can always find like a really talented person doing something really impressive, watchable. So somebody who's brilliant at Spreadsheets playing it, or table football playing it, is watchable. But yeah, I agree. The full games themselves, they're very stop-start. But highlights, yeah, look fantastic. I think that's the same with, I will watch solo play highlights if they filmed it really well. If, somebody posted a video, and I can't remember who it was. I'm going to put it on the blog because I really loved it. They were using the bad boy boxers, goalkeepers.
They look cool. They look cool.
And they took a shot, it went over the wall, and it just clipped the keeper's hands and flicked just over the bar, and the keeper sort of spun, and it looked brilliant in slow motion. I'll watch that sort of thing all day. It just looked brilliant.
What I struggle with watching people play solo is watching people shuffle around the table.
Or they can only play up one side of the table because of a fucking massive stadium up the other side of it. So they're flicking both sides.
And I'm watching someone play a game. I'm watching someone sort of move around the table. And it's like, I've made my opinion. I don't like watching people play Subbuteo.
So, what's the vote? What's the vote?
I don't think there is one. I don't think there is a vote to be had, is there?
I'll tell you what we should do. And I think it's only fair. Stephen, I think your idea is brilliant. How about we dedicate a weekend, a Saturday night, the 4 of us, we Zoom, we play leagues, we get full, drunk, and we play a solo league and see who wins. And we'll play fair.
That'd be good.
We could do it on the Discord. And open up a voice channel. And people can come and, I don't know if you can put videos on it, but anyone can get involved, listen to us shouting about it. That'd be a really good idea.
Well, let's do year 2 of the Spreadsheets Cup. Get everyone who watches involved.
Do it.
Get everyone playing at once. I'll do the live blog again. See, West Ham won the last one, so we need a better winner than that.
I'm in that. I'll give it a go. I'll never say I'll not try it. So
that does sound fun.
So there we go. That's how we end it right there. If you want to get involved in the Spreadsheets Cup, we did it as a league, as a cup, or a cup.
It'll have to be a league if we're doing it all at the same time. And it worked best when everyone was playing at the same time.
Okay, so we'll do it as a league. We can't have everyone because it'll be massive. It'll be too big. We'll never get the games finished. I just don't think we'll get the games finished. All right, Stephen says we can. Everyone get involved. So if you want to get involved, get in contact with Stephen.
We do need to, boys. I was thinking something the other day. We keep going on about this set we want to put to auction. Yeah. We really need to ramp ourselves up because otherwise people are going to lose a little bit of faith in us. I think we probably need to start working this set out. Yeah, look, I think what we need to do, I'll work out what we've got and what you've got. What have you got? The goals and...
I've got the goals and it will be the 54.
So you've got, obviously, the Salvador. I'll work out what we need and then we'll almost... I'll be honest, you know what I'm going to do? This is for charity, so I'm going to come begging. I'm going to come shaking my tin over all the Facebook groups. And I'm going to be asking for stuff. If we can't get it, then obviously we'll have a whip round and buy it because it's for charity. And we said
I'll give balls and benches if we need as well. But
I was going to say, I have a bench if you need it.
You've all got about 95 of them, haven't you?
Yeah. That's why they're so good. You get loads of them.
Yeah, but except when it's scoreboards. They're rubbish. You've got those.
I've got loads of fencing. I can put a fence together as well. But I'll collate all that. But everyone, don't panic. We're going to make this happen. This fence, and we will do it at some point. We'll start ramping that up.
Anybody else? What he's all doing regarding your own stuff, Calum? I'll start with you. You're on my next.
Oh, that's fine because that's fine because it'll be quite short. At the moment, literally nothing. I need to get these posters done. I have actually got them sort of finalised. I just need to find the time to actually get them 100%ed and then get some actual pre-orders for them. Because I don't want to just be left with a million posters that I haven't actually sold. That'd be a ball ache. I'm thinking they're going to be somewhere between $9.99 and $12.99 plus postage. So hopefully trying to keep the value quite low, considering it's an A1 poster. Like you've seen it, it's massive. But yeah, so that is literally it. I'm not planning on doing anything at the moment because I haven't actually started work yet. I want to get settled into actually starting before I start trying to add things to my list of things to do. So not a lot, mate, really.
Magic. Calum, Stuart, what about you? You're next. It's clockwise to me.
So on the channel, I've got an interview coming up with. Oh, I'm jumping on Stephen's bandwagon already, doing interviews. I've got an interview coming up with Alan Lee of Wobbly Hoppy. We're going to talk about Subbuteo Fest. To be honest, I want to know what's going on. I want to know what sort of fairs are going to be there. It's more me being selfish, if I'm honest. So I'm going to be having a chat with him. I've still got the 101 facts about Subbuteo coming up. And then I do have an interesting little project coming where I might be getting Subbuteo onto BBC One.
Yay!
It's quite good. So
you better brush up. You better brush up on your pronunciations as well, Stu.
Mate, you imagine it.
Sampadoria, mate. Sampadoria. It was a clean fortune, mate.
It'd be nice. But it's obviously really exciting for me, but the fact we're going to get Subbuteo on BBC One is awesome.
Yeah, if you're not wearing a Subbuteo Show t-shirt, I'm going to be fuming, by the way. If you go up in your own brand of gear.
Let me know. People in the comments, need to let me know what to wear. Do I wear a hat? Me and Stephen have already discussed this. Do I wear a hat or not? If so, what hat? And what do I wear? What do I wear? Do I wear one of my own shirts? Is that not a bit pretentious if I do that?
Can you make a Ken Bailey style top hat out of a Subbuteo pitch?
And wear me GB top.
To be fair, you were dressed as Ken Bailey the other week. So.
What about you? What's happening with you in the magazine, the next edition? Where can I get the first edition?
Stephen swore. This doesn't happen. Stephen's having an outburst.
I've got a box of about 50 of the first issue left, which I will be selling at some point. But I just
don't say that, mate. I'm knocking on the door now.
I can't go down to that post office again. I'm sick of seeing it. But yeah,
just to clarify, where can I get the first? That's great. We can get that from you. Go back cards. Yeah.
Everyone, I urge everyone, if you've got this far into this episode, head onto Twitter and Facebook now and just bombard.
Please don't.
Subbuteo Online, he has a blog, Twitter, he's all over social media. Just bombard him with questions. We want to know.
When he makes his first YouTube video, put it in the comments.
Yeah, issue 2 of the magazine is going to be out at the beginning of June.
Magic.
So
nice.
Got to turn it around. So, I've had loads of people share really good stuff. But if you do have anything that you want to share for the magazine, please do get across because I'm trying to fit everything in. There's loads of really good stuff.
On that, Stephen, get in contact with me, mate, about what you want from me.
Yeah, will do. And Watsy, I've got something in mind for you as well for this one.
No problem.
I'm also doing a big feature on Subbuteo cricket, and it's probably my favourite thing I've done. Blog on magazine. It's absolutely brilliant. So the Subbuteo cricket revival group, by the way, is absolutely amazing. I've never met more helpful people than the people on that one. So that's good. I'm launching a YouTube channel, which is interviews with the Subbuteo community. So if you've got any interesting stories to tell, you just want to appear on camera, you just want to show your collection, your favourite Subbuteo item, you want to talk about the team you support, anything like that, get in touch. I've got some really good stuff coming on that. And then just blogging away.
And there's a debut on the Watsies Fantasy Football channel in the tomorrow night.
Big appearance on Watsies channel.
Big. Yeah. That is big.
That is big. I didn't know.
I will then be the only person that hasn't been invited on that. I think.
You need to start playing. Stephen's actually going to come on and talk about playing FISTF or WASPA soon, isn't it?
Yeah.
Aren't you?
My view of FISTF has changed a lot over the last few months, I would say. So yeah. I've also been. the first issue of the Subbuteo newsletter is out, which I designed.
That's good.
And I'm working on the second one there. So you get that if you sign up for the English Subbuteo Association. But that's a really sort of historic newsletter. It was out in the 80s and things. So I'm quite proud to have worked on the revival of that one. And there's some really good, interesting interviews on.
Do all this.
I don't really have a life outside of that. I've got.
When do you sleep?
So, what are you up to, mate?
Well, we are down to the last 4 weeks of fantasy football. So, obviously, we're having Stephen on tomorrow night. Calum, we will get you on because we're going to do a Euro show. So, there's going to be another 4 weeks during the Euros.
Nice.
We're going to run a Euro, so it's not going to be a fantasy football. It's going to be a pool. You know, like you get a team, so you pay in £5 or £10, and then all the sweepstakes. So you get your team, and then we'll run a show based around Subbuteo and that same idea of the fantasy football show. We are going to offer guest hosts. So if you join the league and you say yes, I would like to be a guest host, we're going to do a draw every week who comes on and does three people interviewing somebody.
Cool.
And our plan is to have a live show on the last day of the season. So the last day of the season kicks off 4:00. We're going to go live at 5:00. Permitting COVID rules, let us have people in houses. So if this is allowed, we're going to have a live show, my house, people playing Subbuteo, all the people that do their bits on the show are going to come on live, and we're going to finish with Craig the Lip Stewart singing out the show like Jeff Astle used to do in fantasy football. So that's the plan. We're going to do it live on Twitter and YouTube. So that's about it for us.
What do I have to come on in a dressing gown tomorrow to be Stato?
you can do Stato all. we could find a full-time position for you.
No, I've been, because I came to the fantasy football since we started doing this, so there's loads of episodes I missed. I've been watching them all religiously. It's absolutely brilliant. And to come on leaps and bounds since the start as well. The last few episodes have been absolutely brilliant.
So fun.
Yeah, I think we're starting to find our feet, and people are starting to loosen up a bit. You know, even people coming on are starting to loosen up a bit. A lot of editing Bradley out every week. It's a fucking nightmare.
I think 1 week
his Super League rant was something else.
That was went on the whole show. I think that was the only left half of it in. But no, he's getting a wee bit. He's a bit more relaxed. When we first started it, he was like, "You can't say that. You can't say that. You can't say that. You'll offend him." And then he's the one doing all the offending. So I just let him go.
The celebrity's gone to his head.
He started a TikTok account, so God help us. Yeah, I don't know what he's going to post on it.
Oh, the
God help us all. I don't have one. I don't know how it works.
I'm searching for him. He better be following me. Banned him.
You found him? What's he got on?
Okay, it's just videos of people playing Subbuteo. What's in Calum? You need to join the Discord in there.
I had Discord. I must try and sign back into it again. I had it for like a cycling Swift thing we done. Online cycling
for a while actually.
And do you talk on it, Stuart? Do you talk? Do people talk on it? Is it like a live chat?
Often, like people random stuff in it. So people talk about collecting anything really.
Is there Discord's the best place to do the solo tournament on.
It's a great idea.
We did it on WhatsApp last time, but
is there a solo group I can go and talk to?
There is a solo play group on there.
All right, boys. That'll do us this week. Thanks a million. It's all fun and games. We're all friends. We love everybody. Solo players and all.
I think on that note of all being friends and we love everyone, we need to get back to arguing again on the channel. We've been a bit nicey recently, haven't we? I think
what do we do next time?
We need to get back to talking about something. So I put forward that next week we spoke about the best Subbuteo kits. I think we need to talk about the worst Subbuteo kits.
Yeah, okay. I can get into that.
Something that I want to argue with someone again.
That one Calum's wearing now is pretty horrible.
Bruised banana.
Oh, mate! What?
Better than that minty green crap that you're wearing.
Mate, I decorated my living room on the back of the bruised banana.
Can't say bruised banana's the worst Subbuteo kit.
Let's save this.
It's the worst executed Subbuteo kit.
No, it's not. No.
That's not true either. Let's save this for another day, boys. Because this is going to be good. I like that. We're doing that next time.
Yeah.
Right. Let's do that next week.
All
right. Right, boys. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for all your time. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thanks for listening on the podcast. And we'll see you all next week with worst Subbuteo kits. Well, in 2 weeks' time. So take care and Keep flicking.
Lick my line.
See you later, boys.
Thanks, chaps.
Cheers, boys.